Alexandra Sabol is a problematic TikTok creator who I've already covered recently. Basically, if you don't know who she is, she went viral not too long ago for plating her kids an incredibly unhealthy breakfast that consisted of an applesauce packet and multiple powdered donuts. And then, for another dinner, where she poured like half a bottle of oil into a pot for fries and then cooked burgers. Just an all-around unhealthy meal. These two videos propelled her TikTok career, and she now has almost 800,000 followers just from feeding her kids unhealthy meals. And in my last video on her, we mainly focused on her dietary choices regarding herself and her kids. But today, I wanted to focus more on the house and living situation that her poor kids are subjected to. I touched on it a little bit in the video I mentioned, but trust me, it is a lot worse than what you've seen. So Alexandra, feeding her kids garbage every day, got herself to almost 800,000 followers. However, what you might not know is that she has an alt account. It's linked in her bio, and most of the posts are just her shilling out TikTok shop products that probably cost 2 cents to make and sell for $30, not including shipping. But anyways, this account, and along with those TikTok shop videos, contain cleaning videos, which is mostly what I'll be focusing on today. And these videos are unbelievable. I've heard the comparison before that this lady looks like Nova Online, and I absolutely do see it, but what I never expected is that she has some of his tendencies as well. Both of them live in a pigsty. Both of them never like to throw things away. I might have to do a video comparing the two in the future, to be completely honest with you, because both their houses are just so bad. But I'd say Alexandra's is worse just because of the fact that there are kids living with her. If you want to be an adult, or you want to live with other adults in this filth, who am I to judge? That's your choice. But when kids are involved, who don't have the option to clean, I mean, how are you gonna expect an 8-year-old to get bleach cleaner and like wipe the stove clean and clear off the countertops and take the trash out? You can't expect these little kids to do that. That's on you as a mother. I might sound like I'm overreacting, but trust me, the videos that we're about to look over right now will be anything but an overreaction. The first video we're going to look at is one where she's brave enough to talk in. She basically plays footage of her clearing out her horribly filthy table, and then the whole time she just copes. It's just coping the entire video, saying that, yeah, she's bad, but it's not that bad, and if it is that bad, it's not as bad as the other TikTok moms out there. I just can't believe this. I mean, just take a little bit of accountability, Alexandra. I promise it won't hurt you.
Let's reset my kitchen table and have a little chat. Now, I know I'm not the most liked person on here, but I'm damn sure not the worst mother up here. I do what I can for my babies. I cook almost every night. I clean when I can. No, my house isn't spotless, and it's never going to be, and I'm never gonna pretend it is going to be. But it's not as bad as y'all make it out to be. And it's the fact for me that I'm cleaning in these videos and y'all still have something to say. Like, I'm not actively taking care of the problem y'all are about. And yeah, there's dishes on my counter. Guess what? I'm in the middle of cooking while I'm cleaning because I multitask. So sometimes there's dishes on the counter that are not dirty. They have food in them because I'm in the middle of cleaning while I'm making a meal. Now, I'm not going to say all of my dishes are dishes that I'm using right now. Obviously, some of them are dirty, but the ones on the stove are not dirty, so don't even come from me. Imagine comparing me to some of these bad mothers up here. And I'm not going to name names or hate on anyone because I'm not that type of person, but all 3 of my kids have a bedroom. All 3 of my kids have a bed. And all of my TikTok money goes to my kids. So really think before you blindly hate on someone, because all you see is what I share. It costs $0 to be kind to people. I gotta get some more fruit for the fruit basket, but other than that, the table looks amazing. Have a good day.
So Alex says that she's still getting hate, even though she's cleaning and fixing the problem people are complaining about. The issue itself isn't entirely the fact that your house is horrible or that you're cleaning it. It's because you let it get that way in the first place. And keep in mind, that's just her table. There's still her kitchen, her bathroom, living room, car, a bunch of stuff we're gonna get into. But yeah, like I said, it is bad, and it's not an excuse to be still caring for your kids to some extent. I mean, feeding your kids and giving them beds to sleep on is like the bare minimum of having children. They didn't ask to come in this world. I understand some parents are trying their best, but you have the opportunity to give them everything they want and need, or at least everything they need, and you're not, which is the issue. I understand there's poor parents who maybe can't afford to have the best, most nutritious food for their kids, or can't afford, a private bedroom for each of their kids, and that's completely fine because they're doing the best that they can. Alexandra, though, can. She has the money to have a clean house, give her kids nutritious food, but she doesn't, just because she is lazy. That's the sole issue here. And then she tried to throw shade at other TikTok moms. I'm assuming she referenced the Resilient Jenkins there, who may be a video themselves, but I mean, it's just a false equivalency. I get you're both TikTok parents, but one of them, it's just two different things entirely. Just because you're better than someone else doesn't mean you're okay. You're still doing a bad thing, and that is evident in these next few videos we're going to look over. This next video is one I will commentate over because Alexandra chose not to. Basically, she is cleaning her kitchen counter, and oh my god. I don't even know how half of this stuff ends up here. I'm pretty sure all those seasonings have a drawer, and the cereal has a pantry, and it genuinely, this isn't that bad compared to the rest of the stuff. This is really just the most lighthearted dirtiness that you're gonna see in this video. It's not as bad as what I showed before, and it's not as bad as what's gonna come after. But just take a second and analyze the disorganization of this woman and her house. This is her house, by the way. She admitted in a video that she bought the house with TikTok money. And here's a video up on screen of how it originally looked, and just look at how clean it is. You're going to see this, and you're going to compare it to some videos I'll show after, and it's the difference is like night and day. Here it's nice marble countertops, clean, whatever, and then it's just going to be covered in dirt, bugs even. There are bugs on the tables and countertops sometimes, and just trash. You're just going to be shocked. For example, here's another video I'm commentating over, and oh my god, just look at this. I mean, if you can't watch right now, her countertops and her sink is filled to the brim with garbage and dishes. I don't know how you, as a self-respecting, or how you as an adult, would let it get this bad, especially when you have 3 children and a man at home. A lot of people seem to forget that Alexandra isn't single. Her boyfriend, I believe, may be a father of at least a few of the kids, but either way, he lives there. He should be a part of their life, and he's clearly not doing anything to help the issue, as you're about to see, since she clears out his car and it is just god-awful. But like I said, take a second and just, wow, this kitchen is absolutely horrible. How is a kid supposed to live in this? Imagine your child living in this kind of filth. How would you feel? I just want to know how you'd feel. I'm not going to give you any ideas, but just think. How would you as a kid feel living here? I want to reiterate very quickly that I am not in any way bashing moms. Being a mom is one of the hardest jobs out there, and I do genuinely understand that it's very difficult, and being a mother has its struggles, absolutely. But again, at some point you just gotta get over it, especially when you have multiple children whose lives are depending on the choices you make now. How are these kids going to operate when they're adults, when they grew up their whole lives in garbage, having to navigate toys and food wrappers and whatever on the floor just to get to wherever they need to go? How is a kid supposed to grow up in that way? And the answer is they shouldn't. They shouldn't be able to. But Alexandra is using depression as a cheap excuse for this. You'll see more later, but now I want to talk about her boyfriend and how his, let's say, presence helps the family. And in short, it doesn't. Here's a video of Alexandra cleaning out her boyfriend's quote-unquote work car. Now, from my understanding, he is unemployed and everyone in the family lives off of Alexandra's TikTok money, which she makes a lot of. But even if he does have a job, just look at this car. You can't excuse this for depression. This is just hoarding. It's straight up hoarding, and it's lazy. Alexandra clearly isn't the only problem in the household. There's another one who's unemployed and very dirty as well. Now that I think about it, her and Nova would make the perfect couple. Think about it. They both look the same, they're both overweight, they both love eating junk, and they both are hoarders who never throw things away, and they both also spend money extremely irresponsibly. Here's the video I mentioned before where Alexandra uses her quote-unquote depression as an excuse, and I'll touch on that more after the video plays, but I also want to mention that she keeps a fish, actually, and the fish is in an extremely tiny tank that is very, very filthy, just like the rest of her house. Now, I've never owned fish, but I do own something called common sense. I don't use it a lot, but I do still have it, and my common sense tells me that a fish shouldn't be living in brown water. I'd probably change it if I was her, but I can't tell her what to do. Anyways, here's the video.
Reset my kitchen counter with me while we have a little chat. Before anyone says anything, yes, I know my fish needs a bigger fish tank according to everybody on TikTok. However, I don't really have anywhere else to set the fish up right now with a bigger tank, or else it would have already been done. I also need to clean the fish tank, which I need to replace the filter, and I need to clean the fish tank. It's on my to-do list. And I know everyone's going to say, how does your counter get this bad? This literally happens in a couple of days. And I try to keep up on the cleaning as much as possible. I know it's hard for people to believe, but mental health can debilitate you. And I'm actively struggling with my mental health and trying to get it fixed. I see mental health doctors. I can't stand seeing comments on my videos that are like, I get depressed too, and my house never looks like that. I don't just get depressed, Charla. I am And that's depressed. Not to sound rude. I understand that there are people with depression that can have a clean house and an immaculate house, and that's wonderful. But if you genuinely struggle with depression, you are struggling somewhere in your life, and you can't tell me otherwise. If you actually struggle with depression, somewhere in your life, you're falling behind too. It's just not. And I'm sorry that mine is my house. But I promise you, I'm not the only one with a house that looks like this, and I'm going to continue to post for those who won't post. I've had other influencer friends reach out to me and tell me that their house looks just like mine. Just remember to be kind, because you don't know what's going on. Remember to stay humble, because you never know when you might struggle with depression.
So besides from the horrific audio editing and overlaying, this video is, as we both expected, full of excuses. And yes, I understand depression is a real thing, especially for mothers, but at one point, you just gotta get over it and grow up. This woman is pushing 30, I think she is almost 30. You have 3 kids, you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from TikTok. You can clean your house. You have enough time to clean your house, And if you look at her page, both her main and alt, a lot of them are just filled with TikTok shop stuff. And yes, I understand she's promoting it, but you don't really need skill for that. All her videos are very low effort. Most of the time it's what she's cooking for dinner, so you can't really say you work from home and you don't have time to clean. You even make videos cleaning. That's just not an excuse. And depression is, I guess, in my opinion, very widely misunderstood. It's real depression is a genuine issue with your brain where your endorphins or whatever don't work properly. You're just lazy and sad. That's different from real clinical depression. And when you grow up and stop using it as an excuse, that's when your kids can have a half-decent life at least. Unsurprisingly, I'm not the only person in the world who has these opinions about Alexandra. In fact, I'd say most people who know her think the same. And she recognized this and decided to make a video. And it did not help her case at all.
Recently, there's been some talk about me. So I figured if we're gonna talk about me, let's talk. I posted a cleaning video on my backup account. And boy, did I piss some of y'all off. My only regret was not posting the cleaning video on my main account so I could get paid from it. So I decided to post one up here doing my kitchen. Albeit my kitchen's not as bad as my living room was. Sorry for my dog in the background, but it's still pretty bad. But I guess that happens when you have severe mental health problems and you're a busy mom who works from home and has 3 kids under 8. Now, I never ever claim to be perfect, and I never will. But some of the lies y'all make up is ridiculous. Like the fact that I have roaches. Don't you think if I had roaches, I would show you guys? That would make me a lot of money. Look at the fly that just flew through the camera. That is what I have in my house. I have flies in my house. Wow, shocker. Flies get in people's homes. And I promise you I'm more annoyed by them than you are. And I'm trying to get rid of them. But anyway, let me know if you want me to do more cleaning content on this account, or if you just want me to keep it on my backup. I just had to monetize off the comments right quick. It looks a lot better, but it's got a long ways to go. And we got a lot more to clean up in this house. Love you guys.
Real quickly, I want to point out the Freudian slip she committed, saying that people are lying about, quote, the fact that, end quote, she has roaches, which is just hilarious to see her indirectly admit. But besides that, she yet again avoids accountability, saying that she's not perfect and she never claimed to be perfect, which is true, but no one is perfect. So you're not really saying anything at that point. I'm not perfect, of course, I'm far from perfect, but so are you, Alexandra. And yet again, just like every other time, she blames it all on her mental health. And I just want to say a few things. Maybe if you didn't eat garbage all day, instead of going on a real diet and just using terzepatide or Manjaro or whatever it's called as a cheap way to bypass a healthy lifestyle and lose weight anyway, and maybe if you kind of went outside and exercised instead of staying in and ordering TikTok shop and DoorDash and stuff all day, I feel like your mental health would be better. But I mean, what do I know? But also, if you just cleaned your house regularly, I feel like that would make you feel a lot better. I certainly would feel a lot better if I didn't have to constantly avoid stepping on toys and makeup and trinkets and food wrappers and empty drink cups and things like that. But I don't know. I've never been in this situation, so I guess this is all just speculation on my part, but like I said, I do have at least some common sense. Even if she is extremely mentally unwell, it's not an excuse for her kids to be in that situation. If it's really that bad, give your kids to a relative or some kind of agency to hold on to while you put your life in order. Foster care exists, family exists, things like that. And she has a very close relationship actually with her parents, so I know that's an option. I know that those aren't always the best options for your kids, but seriously, it's not good to raise your kids in this living conditions that they're in right now. It's just genuinely horrible. Please let me know if I'm overreacting, but The thought of kids not being able to avoid trash while walking on the floor, not being able to get anything from counters because it's just so filled to the brim with garbage, and the fact that they're growing up in that environment and in turn will kind of have the habit to just throw their stuff on the ground and never clean up, which they will take into adulthood, just doesn't sit right with me. I do think CPS needs to be involved with Alexandra. I'm not going to call CPS on her. That's not my place. I feel like someone close to the family should, or if they see sufficient enough evidence on TikTok to conduct an investigation, that'd be great as well. Please don't send hate to her. As you heard her admit, she just will make money off of it. So, in either way, it's not right to send hate. Don't contact her. Don't try and call the police or CPS on her. I shouldn't have to say this, but some people genuinely do. Just please just be civil. Be a civil person, because this is an extremely complicated situation. Please let me know if I was too rude this video or whatever. Leave a like and a comment. That would very much help me out. And subscribe if you like this style of content, because I will be doing it a lot. Thank you and have a good day.